standing by the cross of Jesus were his mother and his mother's sister Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, he said to his mother,
So, Jeff was diagnosed with cholangiocarcinoma on December 15th, 2021. I asked a clarifying question to the oncologist, how do we treat this, that kind of stuff. And he looked at me and he said, the cancer is treatable, but it's not curable. And so that night that Jeff was diagnosed, we went to my parents' house and Jeff sat on the floor and we just surrounded him and we soaked him in prayer, pleading for the Lord to intervene and to heal him. Even in that moment, Jeff was very forthcoming and vulnerable about, if I lose my life, I gain everything. The amazing thing was we were walking through Psalms as a church during this time.
I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. I sought the Lord, and he answered me, and he delivered me from all my fears. Desperation has a clarity about it. When he's the only answer, you cling to it. That's where I'm at, is I'm desperate, and you're my only hope.
After Jeff's diagnosis, he began to have chemotherapy. The first round made him so incredibly ill, so sick. The second round, he did really great. He started eating again, started gaining weight again, and with 6 weeks after starting chemo, he was exercising again. I really thought, this is it. We're going to go into remission. And that's when I began bargaining with God. If you would just give me 5 years, just give me 2 years. I started thinking forward to, what was next. We were building a house, which was going to be our empty nest. And I just wailed to the Lord, why? Please, no. Have mercy. Within a couple of weeks, he deteriorated to the place that he had to be in a wheelchair, and he began to struggle again with breathing, and his vital signs were failing. And so it was just the two of us. And the doctor came in and said, we have to be realistic about this. He's like, we can put you back on the ventilator, but it's just a matter of time. Jeff looked at me and smiled just a little bit and looked at the doctor, and he said, it's time for me to go home and be with Jesus. It's time.
The fear that overwhelms me is, did I matter? Did I talk to the people I should have? Did I share Jesus with those that are around me? I have tasted and seen his wonderful sovereignty. His plan for my life is to celebrate his goodness. And so it's given me a platform for his glory and ultimately my good. Heaven is my hope. And so how can I resist? If it's tomorrow, okay, I wake up in Jesus' arms.
What looked and felt like the worst day of my life was the most beautiful, precious, precious moment of Jeff's. Not only was he whole and healed from cancer, he was whole and healed from the world, from sin. Like Jesus did with Mary, is that Jeff had some specific conversations with some men who are very close to me. And these men they've become my family. Things from moving me twice. These men came and moved me twice. There's one that lives down the street that will just come sweep off my front porch. think the most important thing that he did in caring for us is that he established a legacy of faith for me and Gracie and Ellie. Almost every part of his life pointed to Jesus, to trusting Jesus, to following Jesus, because he invested so much love and was such a good friend and set an example, a Christ-like example with the men in his life. I get to reap what he sowed in so many ways.